Good morning, gang. Joyce Welsh, Skipping Calves Farms here. I wanted to do a video this morning. I had done an experiment a while back, and it looks like it has been pretty successful, and I just wanted to share the results. What you see in front of me is my garden and the bee yard and the perimeter fence. Now, I am still on my property, but I'm outside the perimeter fence. The cost in bringing the perimeter fence to the other side of my driveway and adding an extra 50-60 feet to it was prohibitive. And I've got this big old walnut tree that served as my corner post. Let me see if I can get that to zoom in. My corner post without spending any extra money. I was able to do that on 3 of my 4 main corners. And so it basically, by not going across the driveway and losing that little bit, most of which wasn't grazable anyway, cut the cost of my fence in half. But the purpose of my video is looking in front of us. There's a lot of Bermuda grass, and then the broad-bladed Bermuda type grass. And you can see throughout it, the lighter plants, those are all goldenrod. And the goldenrod back here, as I'm coming back almost 360, you can see this is the goldenrod that I did not cut previously with a weed eater, and it's fully full for 4 foot tall. And down here I came through and weed eated it to keep it from going to seed. And I've got another experiment back there where I was planting cuttings in soil bags, and I've got a peach tree that's back there in one of the bags, and it's waiting for its owner to claim it, and has been for about 9 months. So that's that rabbit trail. But my point is, if you don't trim the goldenrod, it will get really, really tall. So I came through just as the goldenrod was taking off, and it was maybe 6 or 12 inches taller than the grass around it. And I came through this entire area and topped off all of that goldenrod before it could go to seed. And now this is a month or 6 weeks down the road, and it is not being dominated in most places by the goldenrod. Now over here it's still mostly goldenrod, but you scroll right next to it where it's gotten a little bit more shade, and look how that grass is going. So I know from my knowledge of the history of this property that the soil over here is probably more fungal, because there were trees over there that were just cut down. And so that doesn't surprise me at all. But if I go forward here, you can also see a difference just at the fence line. So let me go here. So here's another tree that I used to make a support in the bend of the fence, so I could use that other tree as my main corner. And then I've just got that tree as a support so that the timeless posts on either side of it can flex if they need to, but they won't go down because they've got the support of that tree. I digress. So back to my main point. Okay, my main point was we wanted to cut the goldenrod before it got ahead of my grass. And it looks like, for the most part, that was an extremely successful experiment. Well, what do we use as a control? I did not mow on the other side of the fence. So if we look at the other side of the fence, you've got goldenrod that's 18 inches versus goldenrod that's 6 inches. I'm going to stand back up so I can get it more at a people perspective. So here's the goldenrod on that side of the fence. Here's the goldenrod on this side of the fence. Here's the goldenrod and grapevines on that side of the fence. Here's the Bermuda type grass and goldenrod on this side of the fence. So yeah, the goldenrod that did not get weed eated did get a little more vigorous. And as you can see it growing up between those cattle panels. This area had been cut at the beginning of the summer. Those that are growing up under the cattle panels didn't get cut in the first or second cut. So, and the same is true with the goldenrod there on that rotting stump. So, my point being, gang, is trying to think like Mother Nature, think ahead. I saw that the goldenrod was really taking over. I did not want it to kill out my grass. And even in this area where it looks like all you've got as you look across is goldenrod, you look down and you look in and you've got grass. And you've got grass. And you've got grass. And there are 3 different species of grass. We've got switchgrass. We've got a Bermuda style grass. We've got orchard grass. Now granted, it's not a solid stand. It's never been a solid stand back here. We have to learn to think. We have to learn to connect the dots like nature connects the dots. That's how we become successful, sustainable, regenerative, and profitable. It's not by following a recipe. It's not by doing what other people told you. It's by learning to observe and think like Mother Nature, think like your animals, and then act appropriately on their behalf. They need our quality management. They don't need our manipulative, destructive management. So with that, I will get off that soapbox. And if you like, if you're learning and liking what you hear, please look past my voice and the fact that I talk real slow and stumble with my words. But there is wisdom and years of study that tie all this stuff together. So with that, gang, if you like what you see and hear, please subscribe. It would be of encouragement. In the meantime, I wish you blessings for the day. And no matter what, just keep chasing the dream.